This is the Hanging with Abe Podcast. This is the Hanging with Abe Podcast.
What up? This is the Hanging with Abe Podcast, coming to you always from Massachusetts. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everybody out there that has subscribed, liked, comment. The Hanging with Abe Podcast is at 85,000 subscribers on YouTube. As I tell you guys all the time, this doesn't happen without the love and support of all of you. You can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on TikTok. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook. Like I like to say all the time, I am all over the place. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment on this video. I have a special guest with us this evening. Every once in a while, you come across MCs that are really doing it for the right thing, doing it for the passion, doing it for the love. They got the sound, they got the lyricism, they got the storytelling, they got it all. And this gentleman that I'm getting ready to introduce has just that. I stumbled across his Instagram on my algorithm, and I tapped in and asked him to come on air and just talk about the incredible things that he's doing, the MCing that he's doing, and all the great music that he's putting out. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you T-Bruin.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me, man.
No problem at all. For the people hearing your name for the first time, who is T-Bruin?
T-Bruin, from the Bronx, New York, originally. Spent some time in Atlanta, so a large portion of my life in Atlanta. But been in New York for a while, like 50-50. So between here and Atlanta, it's been like my journey. I've been doing music for about 10 years now, just putting out material, just building, man, just trying to make something, shake, you feel me?
Yeah. I see that you're a New York Knicks fan.
Yes, sir.
I know that I know that you're probably ecstatic about the Knicks winning their first NBA championship in a really, really long time. What has that done? What does that mean to you? And what has it done for the city?
I mean a lot, the Knicks are a representation of the grittiness of the city, you know what I'm saying, that fight.
Yeah.
And I think that's just why it resonates with everybody, so powerfully in the city, because like we all been there, feeling like you're at the bottom, scratching and, trying to get back to the top, and just have it because you've been there before. You feel what I'm saying? You represent that every other fashion, but you just haven't won yet. So like that's kind of like that mentality of even living in New York. Like these are the people of this country who like are some of the hungriest people in the world, like trying to get that like untangible thing. So just like that trophy that that trophy represents that to the everyday person. So it's big.
Yeah. No, it was big. I'm a big basketball guy. I played basketball in college.
Okay.
And it was beautiful, man, to watch that. Jalen Brunson, who I just think he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But that series was really good. I was, telling people that I work with, I was like, Spurs time is coming. They got a real talented team. They're young.
For sure.
But I just think the Knicks they just wanted it more, in my opinion. So shout out to the New York Knicks, city of New York. Like that's huge. You're from the Bronx. Tell me a little bit, man, about like life, man. How was life growing up for you in the Bronx?
Well, it was me, my mom, my two sisters. I got an older sister and a younger sister. But the majority of the time we was in the Bronx, just me and my older sister, and like that was really, we're from where hip hop was, invented. We're from Cedric Ave, Sedgwick, between University, like Burnside area, like over there. So like Cedar Park, a park that I played in, like that's where hip hop was kind of created. So like I've been embedded in it since before I even like really truly understood what it was. Spent a lot of my time in Harlem too. My grandfather he was like one of the only black people to own his own corner store, you know what I'm saying, 130th and Lenox, which was like a pillar for that community, and where that was like really like the who's who of your Richard Porters, your Camerons, Mace, like everybody was, in that area. That I was a little dude running around the shop, So like hip hop has been in my life like my whole life. So, just I started like I got into music, I would say like when I moved to Atlanta, which was I think I might have been like around 12, 13 when we moved down there. Just not being able to like keep up with the lifestyle in New York. So we just made that transition. I became like just engulfed in music. That was my escape, being away from the city, my lifestyle taking that like dramatic turn. Um, and then from then I was already like, mom's already had me like in the arts and shit, like doing different type of um choir things and glee club, all these different activities. So like I
Yeah,
was familiar with music. So like my taste level for music has always been, in my opinion, very high. So, I credit that like to my even current like beat selection and stuff. Like I'm hearing
yeah,
things like, deeper than just like rap. I'm hearing we listen to a lot of old school music. My sister was big into like alternative rock and roll and stuff. So like my
yeah,
household, like, super eclectic, but we were poor, at the end of the day, like so I really had like the poor Black American experience, in
yeah,
the up north, and we had it down south, so I, eventually got old enough to come back to New York on my own and like, just do my thing on my own. And like that's when I really like put my foot to pavement when like in my 20s and really got to like just building my own like community just just to do my music. So that's where we at now.
yeah. What's so great about you, man, is that your sound doesn't sound like anybody else's sound. Like you can hear the Atlanta in your music, you can hear the Bronx in your music. You're so versatile. Even like, your beat selection and like like that whole thing, like, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but
Hmm.
um nobody has your sound. You know what I mean? And like I think about, back in the day, like, my favorite group of all time is Tribe Called Quest. And
Okay.
what made them so special is that nobody had their sound. You know, they weren't trying to take anybody else's sound. They created their own sound. And when I listen to your music, you're doing just that. Like you're creating your own sound. Like I can't listen to your music and be like, oh, he sounds like this person or he sounds like that person. You just got your own lane, man. So shout out to you
Thank you.
for just like what you're building, because I feel like uniqueness is very important and is much needed right now in hip hop, in my opinion. So I come across somebody who's not trying to follow the wave and just doing their own thing, I appreciate that as a music lover. So shout out to you for that, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. Tell me like a great childhood memory you have about growing up in the Bronx or in Atlanta.
Um, I had a few like the so my connection with Atlanta has been like something like throughout my whole life because my aunt, she lived out there. So when I was younger, my mother used to send me out there like for the summers and stuff. So I remember like fully experiencing like the 96 Olympics, like just being in the city, like how when like the Super Bowl comes to town. So like just being the kid, there for that. Like even when I don't know, I just had like a bunch of moments. I remember when they were shooting Paid in Full, the movie,
Okay.
and they had the trailers parked in front of my grandfather's store. So that's when that was the first time I met Cameron, Jim Jones, and all of them. Like just being on the trailer for like it was only a second, but that's for me like that was the the more impactful moment for me as a kid was me seeing like a PlayStation for the first time. I didn't even really know like what was going on, like who I was seeing, like you know
Yeah.
what I was experiencing. So like just like that, like I said, my entire life, like it's just been a lot of things that's been like super. I don't know, just like on a scale of just proximity of like how close to just made these major artists or these major things that I've been without even knowing. Just even like when we lived in the Bronx, my older sister used to walk me to school, and every morning we used to run into this funny dude. Like he was mad funny, used to always tell jokes, and then come to find out, this dude is Tracy Morgan. Like,
Oh, that's dope. That's
like
dope.
every morning, like seeing this dude, like, he'll buy us a little hot chocolate or whatever, butter roll before we go into school. I'm like, did we see him on TV? I'm like, yo, Nisha ain't that? She's like, yes. And then my mother like, oh, that's Tracy. He always be such and such. Like, so yeah, just those are some of the things that kind of like stand out when I think about just growing up in the Bronx and in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Shout out to Tracy Morgan. He is funny.
Um,
When did you fall in love with hip hop?
Early, I think I really fell in love with it as a kid because I came up, we came up in a time where you still had like music and hip hop that was tailored and made for kids. So, cleaner music. I remember like some of the earliest things that kind of like caught my attention, just as far as like that wasn't like, because all I was listening to outside of that was like Michael Jackson and shit. So when I started like shit like Will Smith, and I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like just hearing Summertime and hearing like getting jiggy with it. And I remember being in like I remember being with my mother's friend, Landa's son. He had this Lexus truck, and that was the first time I heard Big Pimpin' like out loud, like as a kid, and just being like, yo, what is this? Like, why is this like touching my soul right now? I know it's like certain things I ain't supposed to be hearing, but like those are like my first like core memories of like just being introduced to the sound of hip hop and just hearing the bass and understanding like, this is not what I be listening to, and just experiencing it in them, in different environments, like in parties. And when my cousins used to have their birthday parties in Harlem, and just like hearing all the like DMX and lock shit, because what I'm saying, my cousins affiliated with Live on Linux and just a bunch of things that just go on in Harlem. So hearing this stuff and just not even knowing that, I'm saying, that this is like, I want to say it's like what made me fall in love with it, but just that's what introduced me to it. What made me fall in love with it was like when I moved down south, and I was just like consumed with Jay-Z and Jadakiss and Lupe Fiasco, and like that's what was my escape, just hearing all these different lyricists.
Yeah, yeah. Those are. I mean, those are some great ones. Jadakiss, Lupe Fiasco. I feel like the people forget about Lupe and how good he is as an MC.
One of the
Was there
goats.
a moment when you? Yeah, he definitely is. Was there a moment when you knew music was more than a hobby for you? Like, you know what? I'm gonna
Uh,
go full. I'm gonna go full fledged with this.
um, I would say when the people around me kind of like push me to like take it serious, because one of my friends, like once I graduated high school, one of my friends was kind of more so serious about the music thing. Like I was still rapping and fucking around with it just as a hobby, but I was more so supporting, but I had those little windows where it'd be like, hey, like give me a verse here and there. And then I would give him a verse, and then like kind of like it would be like a different energy, a shift in the studio when I record it. And then kind of people like, yo, well, you got more music? And it was like, nah. And it was like, yo, you might be able to like do something yourself. And I think once I was trying it, doing it a little bit, but kind of like when I started understanding what I wanted my sound to be, what I wanted my messaging to be, I think that's like when I really, knew. And I think that was like in my latest like 25, 26, when I kind of like, all right, this is what we going towards. Like we're gonna push the gas on this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Who inspired you early on, both in music and your life? Like, what inspired you musically? Who inspired you in your life? Like, pushed you and said, you know what, this is something that you really can do, and like, I'm gonna get behind you and I'm gonna support you.
Um, as far as the music, like one of my best friends, shout out to Teasy Fontaine. He does music as well, but I met him my sophomore year in high school. And
Yeah.
he's a producer. He's been producing since we was in high school, and he kind of like was the first, because I used to try to like battle rap and shit like in school or whatever, like just be killing. I was nice, like ripping shit up in the hallway, like just
Yeah.
killing niggas. So he was the one who like I want to say showed me how to write a song, but kind of like pushed me more so to like, yo, try to write a song, because you could rap, like, but can you write a song? Can you write a 16? Do you understand bars? um Started giving me my own original beats and stuff, and then like was my first the first person to like record me, bring me to the studio. So like that was really the first person to kind of like really in the moment when I'm doing it, tell me like, hey, you got something. You gotta really push, you know what I'm saying? I got all my cousins always been like super supportive of me. Like we super close. Like my cousins, my sisters, like we always it's not like you come to my show, you definitely gonna run into one of my family members. You might run into one of my aunts like on stage wilding out. Like it's really like my family is behind me 100%. So that's really it's big support. But as far as the music, like seeing it in front of me, um, just I don't know, like I don't want to just be cliche. Like my favorite rapper is definitely Jay-Z, but
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
wouldn't say he was more so like a inspiration. He's kind of somewhat been of a bar that I try to like push to, or like especially sonically, get my music there. But I always feel like I've been my biggest source of inspiration, like as of that. Like, I don't try to come off as cocky or nothing, but like I really been one of the, like my work ethic is crazy. Like and I'm fully independent. Like I put every I won't say every dollar, like, but a huge portion of like what I got into, the music, and I make shit happen like on my own. So I pat myself on the back for that as much as possible.
Yeah, no, I mean you can tell, man, like that you put a lot of time and energy and into the music because you can hear it. You know what I mean? You can hear it. You know what I mean when you listen to your music. So again, man, you know what I mean. Hats off to you and just your dedication. I don't think people really realize, man, like how much goes into music. Um, it's the same with the podcasting. You know what I mean? Like the time and energy and the money that's spent
Mhm.
to do it the way that I do it. You know what I mean? And like, when I came out with this, I wanted to be different from what everybody else was doing. All the other podcasts that I saw, I was like, you know what? I think it's more power instead of just putting an episode out, which I can just put episodes out. But the beauty is like, the genius in it is like the ideas that I'm able to create, the rollouts that I'm able to do, the videos that I'm able to show, and like the power that I give the people that have come on my platform for people to like to really like research and understand. You know what I mean? This is much more than just a podcast to me. This is like, my life in a sense,
Mhm.
and how much I love music. You know what I mean? So I definitely understand, man, when you say like you put a lot of time and energy into your craft. Um, how would you describe your sound in 3 words?
I would say my sound is um, motivational.
Yeah.
I would say it's refreshing.
Okay.
Um, and I would say it's optimistic.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Um, what separates T-Bruin from everyone else that's making music?
I think my my ability to be able to connect with the everyday person,
Yeah.
just on subject matter alone, and just for me, it's like I don't I don't really want to be the guy who you listen to, and like I don't mind if they don't. I wouldn't mind if they don't play my stuff in the club, like that.
Okay.
I can live with that because, but if you're going through it with your baby moms or your girl, and you could throw on like one of my songs, and you kind of like get not not the energy to want to separate yourself from that, but you get the energy, or maybe the idea of like maybe you got to fix it, or you got to like work on it, or you got to like maybe look in the mirror. Like I just want to create different perspectives. Like um that's why on one of my songs, Still Love, like it's one of my favorite songs to this day, because I just feel like the position that I want to be able to take, and just these real world scenarios that us as rappers have to kind of like put into our music. Some of us choose not to. Some of us choose to kind of like just follow the status quo of like, fuck bitches, get money, get fly. And it is what it is. But it's like I feel like life is so much deeper than that. That
Yeah.
even the average person who may not be able to express how deep his life is, I think should be deep even for the person whose biggest obstacle is just going to work and coming home every day.
Yeah.
So I want to create the soundtrack for that person. You feel me? The person who might not ever see a millionaire. Like how do we become happy? How do we become content with just being cool with what we have and seeing the beauty in that? So and I'm trying to strive to, do that for myself. So that's what I try to put into my music. I feel
Yeah.
like that's what separates me.
Yeah. No, I mean, and again, like, everything that I heard you just say is just the power in that is like the honesty and the vulnerability. Like when I listen to your music, I hear the honesty and I hear the vulnerability. Again, like I said at the very beginning of this, is like, your sound, you can't match your sound with anybody's. It's yours, you know what I'm saying, which is unique.
Thank you.
Um, what is a song in your catalog that means the most to you and why?
Uh, I have a song called Sun Gazing that I dropped on a EP called Stuck on Earth. And that
Yep.
was a song that I wrote when I was about to have my first child. And that
Yeah.
was that body of music was a piece of music that just came from, me having my first child. And that even the symbolism in that title, Stuck on Earth, like I think a lot of us want to escape, by anyway, some people use it, some people escape by whether it be drugs or alcohol or just being a nomad, or some people go as far as like, really separating themselves from, this living life force that we have now. And I feel like my son gave me, reason to be here, to be stuck on this earth and find beauty in being stuck on this planet. So yeah, that song is definitely one of my most impactful to me.
Yeah. No, I like that. And that's definitely a very good song. I would have picked that. Like if you wouldn't have picked that one, I would have picked. That's one of my favorite songs by you. My other
Thank
favorite song by you is Bruin's Revenge. I love that song. I play it, man, all the time. In the car. But talk to me a little bit, man, about the process of that, man. Like it's just, just everything about it. I like the wordplay, the things that you're saying in it, the beat that you picked. Um, talk to me a little bit, man, about that song, man, and like, what does that song mean to you?
you. That's just my daily struggle I deal with, of like wanting to, like I said, like be the guy who talks about the optimism of life and the beauty and the simple things. And it's also that part of me that want to flex on niggas. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
want to,
Yeah.
want to be outside. Want to talk about the things that I've been through. Want to in other ways, but it's just trying to find balance in that, and still showing niggas that like, yo, I'm really nice, like I really could spit. I
Hmm.
choose to create the music that I create. But if I at any given moment wanted to flip a switch and really like be over there with y'all and me and make the bullshit, I'll make the most top quality bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
on a level of like, just because I feel like I'm one of the ones, and I feel like I've accepted that. So like I gotta make songs like Bruno's Revenge to kind of like just, put that out there, and then I tuck back in and get back on my, vulnerable shit. You feel me? But every now
Yeah.
and then I gotta drop one of those.
Yeah. You gotta let them know. You know what I'm saying? You definitely gotta let them know. And I feel like on that track, that's exactly what you're doing. You're just letting them know. I also love this Safe Space EP.
Thank you.
That's another dope one for y'all out there. You know what I mean? Again, go listen to T-Bruin's music. You will not be disappointed. Definitely listen to the Safe Space EP. Talk to me a little bit, man, about that EP and the process of making that.
Well, that EP came from really just like these two EPs. I guess we're gonna talk about Perfect Day to Live later, but a safe space. I had just lost my grandmother September of last year. So like I was in the process of working on my album, and I had just was going through a lot of stuff, and I was trying to like go through life and grieve and still work on an album that I'm currently still working on, and I couldn't like I didn't want to put that energy on that. So in the midst of me losing my grandmother, losing a close friend, and going through it with what I'm saying, the mother of my kids, like I just felt like I needed to like just get some shit off on the music. So the universe set it up to where I ran into a dope producer from Atlanta, actually, my homie Wiz Kelly. I actually met him in New York. Like that's just how like I really believe like the universe works for me like that. When I need
Oh
something, like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
provide. Um and we were booked on the same bill and we both rapped. I thought he's an incredible MC. So when he approached me after the gig to collab, I'm thinking he wanted to rap together. So I'm thinking about beats to send him, and then he sends me a whole folder of beats. He's like, yo bro, something on my spirit tell me I need to produce something for you. So he sent me those beats. So out of those beats, I picked those 5 songs, and I wrote those songs in a couple of days, like that was part of my grieving process to just like go in there, memorialize my grandmother, talk about her, speak on dealing with my homie Los's passing, what I'm going through with my, the mother of my kids, and just still, like I say, get that off, get that energy out there, put it out there, and then get back to the process of, creating this other bodies of work. So that was just really like a journal entry. That's how I feel like my EPs are, my shorter projects. They're like, if I'm just snatching away some pieces from my journal entry and just giving it to the people.
Yeah, no, the EP is beautiful. Like I said before, you know what I mean? Yeah, they definitely need to go and listen to that, the Safe Space EP, because, that's another good one. That's one of those ones that you just play over and over and over again. So shout out to you again for that one. This next song I'm going to talk about, Symphony of the Soul. Crazy thing, I'm going to tell you a funny story about that. So Symphony of the Soul, I forgot when I first reached out to you, but I shared that song in my story, and it just, I don't know, again, like I was going through my algorithm. My algorithm is nothing but underground hip hop. So all that I see all day is just underground MCs. You know what I mean? That's the way because again, I'm a content creator, I'm a podcast, hip hop. So I that's all I want to see on my timeline, and motivational stuff, positive stuff. And I came across that song, and it just, man, I let that reel just loop and loop and loop. I probably let it loop like 20 times, man, before I eventually reached out to you to come on to come on the podcast. It just, I think in that moment, it's like one of those moments when you hear somebody for the first time, and it just stops you for a second, and you're like, damn, I want more of that. Where can I get more of that? It happened to me when I first heard Jay-Z, because Jay-Z's my GOAT. It happened to me when I first heard Phife Dawg from Tribe Called Quest. The first time I ever heard Busta Rhymes. It's just like one of those things. I'm like, dag, I need more of that. So, talk to me, man, about that song. And I mean, the beat's beautiful. The way that you rhyming on it is beautiful. And just all together, man. So talk to me a little bit about that song, man, and like the process of that, because you can hear the passion and the hunger and every word that you rapped on that song.
What was the song again?
It's Symphony of the Soul.
What song is Symphony of the Soul?
I think I think I'm cool. I definitely shared it in my story. Um, I don't know if that's the name of it. It said it. It said Symphony of the Soul on it.
You said it's a real?
Yeah, because it's on your page. It came up on my algorithm, and I just shared it. It should still be in our stories.
Okay, let me make sure, because I want to make sure so we talk about the same song. Damn, I don't know. I can't see what the post is. Hold on. Was it off the Opus?
I think so.
The one I shot the video for it
Yeah,
in the all black.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I just
I don't
wanted
know
to
if
make sure.
I don't know. That's the title, right?
It's when I'm outside. I'm just. It's like my latest video. I'm outside in the all black. Is it that?
I think so. It had like a sample on it.
Damn, I want to make.
It had a sample on it, man. It was fire, and I shared it, and like you commented back on the share, and just like, yo, I appreciate you. And then I ended up that, and then
Yeah,
we ended up. I was like, yo, I gotta get you on the
yeah.
pod.
It was something I posted on my story, but I can't see what I posted. It's not showing.
Yeah,
I want to make sure that's a song.
it's not in our chat.
Nah, because that's the first thing, like our first interaction. Nah, it's only showing. Nah, it's just showing like me
Okay.
replying.
Okay.
No, I replied to you. You posted it, and I replied to you.
Yeah.
So I can't see what I replied to.
Yeah,
Man, I
but
can't see your son.
yeah, I might have to when we get off. I'll see if I can resend it to you so you can see it. But yeah, it was like black and white, and like you had all black on. You was rapping. It looked like you was like outside at a. I don't know if you were like. I can't really see where you were outside at, but like the camera was like going around, but you was just really just in your bag. It's a great song, and it said at the bottom, "Symphony of the Soul."
Okay. That's actually, I know what you're talking about. That's
Okay.
actually a feature. I know what you're talking about now. That's
Okay.
actually a feature verse that I did for somebody.
Oh, okay.
My homie Avi, he's so his part of the song sounds nothing like that. So the beat is like a beat switch, and he was like, "Yo, bro, I got this. It's this sample go off at the end of this beat. Yo, I just need you to just go in on it." So I ended up just taking it and just shooting that. I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that verse, I ain't gonna hold you. It was really, like I said, he paid me for a feature. He was just like, "Yo, the beat was crazy." You know, when he sent me the song, so when I'm listening to the song, I'm like, it's more like up tempo, some like turn type. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool, like something different. And then it's just like at the end of it, after his last hook, it's like a warping sound, and then you just hear the beginning of that sample. And it's just like, it's a totally different beat. And then I'm like, oh shit, like this is crazy.
Yeah.
So like I said, I just went in, like it was literally one of them, like it's rare like that I hear beats and I'm instantly inspired to like start writing. Some beats I hear and I'm like, oh, I know I want to do something to this. I just need to sit with it, live with it, and maybe a situation or a conversation will inspire. But sometimes like I hear a beat and I instantly start hearing words in my head, and it's like, oh, this is one of those. Get it done. You know what I'm saying? So I literally sent that back within like 48 hours. But yeah, it was just, I said, one-on-ones, he kind of like laid their song was so different that I was like, but it was still hard that I was like, I can't end it with some weak bars at the end.
Yeah.
So it was literally just me just going off like, yeah, like, but I was speaking like some real shit. Like I was just talking about like, just no perks after graduation, just a couple perk 30s in imagination. Like that's what's real. Like it was like, you know, just I was just in my zone on that one. I ain't gonna hold you. That is one of them.
Nah, you can hear it, man. I was like, it's crazy because again, like I'm on there, you know what I'm saying? I'm going through it, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I just heard that. I heard the sample and I was like, oh, okay. And then I heard you come and then I heard you start rhyming. I said, yeah. I said, he killed this. I said, he killed this, man. I said, he killed this. And you can tell you just was, I was like, yo, you can tell, like, you just was like, you could tell you was in your bag, man. I said, yeah, he killed this. I was like, yo, I said this. And then I was like, yeah, I said, I want more of this. I said, so I gotta either I gotta tap in, and I tapped in, and I was like, yeah, I knew it. It's like one of those things when you tap in, you're like, yo, I knew this is just good quality music, good quality MCing, and it's like, yeah, I knew it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things, man. So, I love that song. Your new LP, is getting ready to come out. You were, I was lucky enough for you to share it with me before it dropped. Hands down, man. It's one of those ones, man. From the start to
Thank
the
you.
finish, the interlude that you shared, today, bro. I had that just was going in the car. I just had it on
Thank you.
repeat. Beautiful song. Um, you started the album out with the Judas the Messiah clip, for Fred Hampton. Rest in peace to Fred Hampton. Those of you that don't know who Fred Hampton
Okay.
is, leader of the Black Panther Party. I'm a history teacher, for
Okay.
seniors. I'm in education. I've been in education I'm going into my 16th year. I've been a lead teacher. This is going into my 12th year, and I'm a history teacher. So when not the year that just passed, the year before, I taught my students we watched the Judas the Messiah, and I taught them about Fred Hampton, the Rainbow Coalition, and the importance of the Black
Mhm.
Panther Party. So when you started the album off like that, man, I was like, all right, this is definitely gonna be, this is something I really need to pay attention to, and I need to dissect and break it down. Um, but man, I mean, hats off to you, and I can't wait for everybody else to hear this LP because it's phenomenal, man. You really did your thing on this.
Thank you,
Talk to me,
brother.
man,
Thank
about
you.
the process, man, of like your song selections, the beats, and just how you came about it making this LP.
Well, this one came together like so naturally. It was just like I was feeling like stingy for holding on to it. So I had that title for a while. It's been a working title that I just been wanting. Like I had the cover for it for a minute, and I was just like, all right, something's gonna come this one day. Um, but like I said, I'm working on the album, so but I can't stop writing music. I'm still working on other music, building songs, but I don't like to just hold on and hoard music. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard Jermaine Dupri. I think that was someone who said it. But the quote was like, "You don't want you want to die empty, like as an artist, because you don't like I want to go and everything be out to the world, flushed out. Like I don't want people to have to dissect my music and try to put it out or try to, oh, what he have like that I like this. Like I want everything to be out. So when I feel like I have a completed, project, I'm gonna put it out. So those songs came together like super naturally. Like, shout out to my producers, Matt Martin, my homie Nate, Mimo. Like those are the only three producers on there. And really, like I said, I've been sitting on a few of those songs or some of the beats for a while and really just put it together. But like the intro was like really what made me feel like, okay, let's go. That was like the last song I had. The first two songs of the last two I had. So, you know, the song I already had, I just didn't have that intro, like you said. And I'm just like scrolling TikTok and the clip of the movie play. Like I seen the movie before, but the clip had played. And like for me, like I wouldn't call myself like a historian or nothing like that, but I know the black experience, like, and I just know
Yeah,
I know the importance of, like you said, like being, knowing your history or as much of it as possible. So like I always want to be somebody who makes it cool to be educated. You feel me? Make it cool
yeah,
um
yeah,
to to be black and proud. Like you can be like a black American and be proud of it and like the and acknowledge these things that's going on and the structure of this country that's kind of fucked us over. And that's I rather just drop hints on it and just put it in my music rather than not say nothing about it at all. So that that first song, Beauty Noir, I think people are really is going to be. I don't think it's going to be unexpected from people who kind of know me and know my music and know my sound. But I think for the people who are getting introduced to me, I think it's kind of like a spark of like, I like I said, like get those antennas up. Like let me listen to what this guy's talking about.
No, it definitely did that for me. And I can't wait again, man. I can't wait for you to share it with the rest of the world. Um, because I do think it's going to get that for the people that never heard your music. It's definitely going to make them dig deeper and to know more about you and about your music. And the people that do know your music, it's just going to make them love your sound even much more. You know what I mean? Because like, like I put it on, man, every morning. I let it play. And some songs I go back to and let it just continue just to loop. And then sometimes, man, I just let it I let it, since I've had it, I've just been playing it. And I can't wait for the rest of the world to um, hear the project, man, because they're gonna enjoy that.
Thank you.
What do you? No problem. What do you? What is missing from hip hop today? You think?
Um, I think organization. I think that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing. I think everything is kind of clumped and lumped up together. So like the perspective on what hip hop is and what's rap and what's MCing, and because everything isn't defined and like um I think they are, but I don't think the terms and what it are is respected, and I don't think people are labeled as such. I think some people out here putting music out as MCs, and I think you have rappers out here. I think you
Hmm.
got I think you got producers, and I think you got niggas who make beats. You feel me? So I think
Yeah.
it's like we really got to be the ones who kind of like organize it so that we can really put the respect on what needs to be respected, and not say disrespect what needs to be disrespected. But I think we need to handle how we handle stuff that doesn't need to be within the culture as such. I think other art forms do it, and like in particular with music. And I've always looked at music like what makes hip hop unique is that the average person doesn't have to be necessarily talented to be successful in it. But any other genre of music, if you want to be an R&B singer, you got to know how to sing to some extent. If you want to play an instrument, you have to know how to play that instrument to some extent. So this is the only music genre where you can dress somebody up in whatever in a hip hop uniform, give them some hip hop music, and they can be respected and classified as a hip hop artist. I think if me and my homies dress up as punk rock, a punk rock band, and we get on the stage and we can't play those instruments, we don't get respected. We don't get record deals. We don't get money. We just
Yeah.
are given the boot. You feel me? So hip hop is the only
Yeah.
place where we don't do that. Anybody could come in and get rich off it, and we just gotta put a stop to that.
Yeah. I did an interview, man, my 50th episode. I was lucky enough to interview one of my favorite MCs of all time, the DOC. A lot of
Oh,
people don't know who
fire.
a lot of people don't know who the DOC is.
West Coast.
And yeah, West Coast. And I tell people this all the time. If you don't know who he is, no one can do it better as one of the greatest hip hop albums ever created. Unfortunately, he lost his voice in a really bad car wreck. But
Mhm.
Dr. Dre, that was Dr. Dre's first solo artist. The DOC is responsible for writing the Chronic. A lot of people don't know that, but that was him
For
behind
sure.
that. And he came on my podcast, man. He blessed me. I'm forever thankful to him. Shout out to the DOC. And he said that to me. He said there's a difference between an MC and a rapper. And he said a lot of people don't understand the difference, but like
Mhm.
a lover of hip hop, I understand the difference. You know what I mean? Like when I think about like a lot of these people that they're saying like, oh, he's an MC. He's not really an MC. I mean, we saw it with the Kendrick and Drake thing. You saw
Yeah.
when a rapper goes against an MC. You see the
Yeah.
difference. You know what I mean? Drake's a great rapper. Don't get me wrong. He's good. He can do his thing. But Kendrick is on a different level,
Yeah.
and you saw that in that situation. And like, you know what I mean? I would even say, I mean, it all depends. But like, when you look at like there, like you said, like there needs to be an understanding like that, it has to be a stop to that. Because you got people out
Mhm.
here that are really, really rhyming, like yourself, and really doing it for the culture and doing it all that. Then you got other people over here that's just eating off of the culture. You're not adding anything to
For
it.
sure.
They don't dress you up. They don't dress you up, put you in this hoodie, this fitted, and like now you think you are this, that, and the third, but that's not really who you are though.
Mhm.
So you know what I mean. So yeah, when you say that, I feel that. You know. Um, do you think lyricism? Do you think lyricism still matters in music?
Yeah, for sure. I think lyricism is the only thing that pushes the boundaries in hip hop in particular. Um,
Okay.
even on the even on the smallest scales, like the way that we're able to just manipulating, using English language. And now, that's the beautiful thing about, black people and hip hop, and like us being able to take this thing that isn't necessarily ours and, make gold of it. So like I said, lyricism is the only thing that's going to push hip hop. And it might not always look like the person that's saying the biggest words, or that's, but it may just look like the person that's able to like take a conversation and put it into a song that people could just resonate with. So lyricisms are
Yeah.
always going to be important in hip hop. Whether it's recognized or not is one thing, but we not just yelling out. We can't yell the beat. We can't scream the beat, regardless of how fire
Yeah.
it is. The words got to mean something. I think it's the
Yeah.
power in lyricism is what we really got to start acknowledging and just really start taking heed to.
Yeah. No, I agree. If you could sit down with three MCs, who would it be?
If I could sit down with three MCs, it'd be Lupe for sure, Most Def, and I would say Jay-Z, but I want to take him off the list. I feel like that's a given. I would probably say Fat Joe. on
Oh,
some
okay,
funny
okay. Fat
on
Fat Joe.
some I just want to hear some hip hop stories, you feel me? I know I know this
Yeah,
man
yeah,
is entertaining.
yeah. Fat
Wow.
Joe. He got all the stories. Um, what is one hip hop opinion do you have that people disagree with?
Damn. That at one point T.I. was the best rapper alive.
Mm.
Whether it
At
was
one point.
for
So you agree?
T.I.
So
was
you think T.I. was the best hip hop artist alive?
he might have not have been the most lyrical, but I think it was a point in time where he was as big as like a Jay-Z.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta agree with you on that. I do. I think that T.I. for whatever reason as of late is not really getting his flowers. And I don't know why that is. Um I don't know why that is. I think I like that one. I really do.
I
Cause like
think
I'm like,
I
damn.
think I think it's choice. I think his biggest problem. I don't think it's a problem. I just think it's choice. I think the more you could keep up the mystique about yourself, is the more you're able to kind of be like this bigger entity. So once you start going to jail, and once people things about your family life start coming out, and you're so open with that, in our culture we just bring you down to size, like, oh, he's just like us, like the things that keep people like Kanye and Jay-Z and Pharrell and these kind of like um this big, like a league of their own, is kind of like because we don't really know much of these people, we kind of get like we don't even really get their full opinions, well, besides like a Kanye, like we only get like these little bits about them. Like we truly get for the most you can get out of them is from the art. So I think when you're able to do that, I think you kind of can uphold your value. I think he's still respected. I just don't think he'll ever like reach that level that he was at again, because he was just like he was him, like for real. Like I
Yeah,
remember I
he
was
was.
there as a kid, like a
Yeah.
back and forth from Atlanta to New York. Niggas in New York was playing his shit. Niggas in Atlanta was playing his shit. I'm like, oh, he's really him.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's how I feel about Ludacris. Like when I think about when people talk about lyricists, they
Mm-hmm.
never mention Luda, but I think Luda's one of the top pure lyricists in hip hop.
Yeah,
And I
Luda's
think
nice.
people continue to overlook Luda. It's the same thing with Busta Rhymes. People will
Mm-hmm.
say, "Oh, Busta Rhymes are too animated," but like let's be for real. Busta Rhymes could
Yeah.
rap with some of your favorite MCs
Mm-hmm.
and demolish some of them.
For sure.
You know what I mean? If we keeping it real, but I yeah, so like I like that one. I like that one because I agree. T.I. I mean, growing up in Baltimore, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. And I know we played a lot of T.I. and definitely played a lot of Young Jeezy when that Young Jeezy
Yeah.
era came through. So,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
um,
for sure.
talk talk to me, man, about being a father, man. I'm a father of four, three
Okay.
girls, one boy. You know, I know how much it means to me to be a father, um, be a role model, be a leader for them.
Hmm.
What does that mean for you, man? Like, what has that done for you?
Man, it's I think it's completed me in ways that I didn't even know that I wasn't fully completing. Uh
Yeah,
just not because I didn't have my father growing up. Well, I met my father when I was 13, like on my 13th birthday. That was the first time I had met
yeah,
him in the physical. I had spoke to him on the phone before, but not having my father, and then my father passed when I was 25. So like I got him in spurts. So it was just like, yeah, like that's a real experience, a very American experience, to just the Black American that not having a dash. So I know the importance of like just having that. So for me, like being a dad is everything, man. Like I see my kids like every day. Like I'm like super active. Like, I'm picking up from school. I'm you know knowing the teachers, just because like just I know that how much of having that presence around, of feeling protected. That was the
yeah,
biggest thing for me, like growing up, like having to be a protector at such a young age for just the women in my household. Me being the only male, and I didn't have a brother or anything like that. So it was a part of the parts of me that was like scared. There was no outlet for me to show that, because I didn't want to show mom I was scared, because she's like, her instinct is to tell me to man up, because she thinks this is how you're supposed to raise a man. So I just know, like, for me, I like just being able to like kind of be a part of the reshaping of what the Black father looks like, and then not being just so much of a super strict disciplined household. Like I know the importance of being able to like my son being able to express his feelings to me and being safe. Me being a safe space to him.
yeah,
By not by being me a little softer. Like, I don't have girls, so from having boys, like it's parts of me I gotta retrain, because it's like the things that I just think is how you're supposed to deal with boys, like that's not always right. You
yeah,
kind of like, it's for different situations, so you can't, for every fall is not a walk it off, but for some falls you gotta like walk that off. um
yeah,
so I'm for me, it's like it's like being in school, man. Every day is like school with no summer breaks. Just
yeah,
learning every day something new about myself, learning a brand new human, and just um being a part of their human experience. And I think that's, as parents, I think that's something that I think that we don't fully. I knew my mother didn't understand how much of she was impacting my full human experience. That
yeah,
um these things that happen when I'm 6 or 7 or 8, that she might think, oh, by the time he's 18, this wouldn't matter. But like, it's a full journey. Like everything matter. Even if it's only spotty, or me being able to, you start hearing other people's conversations about their childhood, and you just start thinking about like, damn, I was really alone a lot as a kid. Like I was
yeah,
really figuring it out on my own. Why was I cooking eggs at 8 years old? Why was I outside walking at 10, 11? When I
yeah,
think about my sons doing the things that I was doing when I was a kid, I'm like, yo, I could never imagine that. But
yeah,
we in a different world, so I know everything is just kind of shifting. But for me, like, fatherhood thing, man, I really, is one of those things that I thought, you know, when I was younger, that I was just like, man, I don't think it's for me. I kind of want to do my own thing, live my life. But when it came about, um, I just took it on, like, you know, head first, and it's been just a thing of beauty, man. I really truly enjoy like being with my boys, man.
yeah. I mean, it's the same for me. I mean, I feel you. I echo everything that you're just saying. I mean, I got three girls. My youngest is 10 months. She'll be 11 months soon.
Oh
She'll be
wow,
one August 19th. My oldest is 12. He'll be
congrats.
13. He'll be Thank you. My oldest is 13. He'll be 12. He'll be 13 August 8th. And then I got my two girls. They're both 8. You know what I mean? So my household is very busy. My wife and I were educators. My wife's a teacher. I'm a teacher. Um, so there's a lot of beauty in that. The summers off and just pouring into them as much as we can, man. With everything. So, my hats go off to you, man, for just being a good dad, man, and being active and being there for your boys, man.
Thank you, man. Likewise, man, for real.
No problem. What's a quote you live by?
Quote, I live by that, rest in peace to my grandmother, but her thing was be kind.
Yeah,
Be,
be kind.
be kind.
Yeah,
Simple.
that's simple. Yeah, it's very simple, but that word right there holds true. Definitely right now, in the times we in and how the world is going. Yeah, I think mine's is a Bible scripture, John 13. You don't know now, but soon you'll understand. And I like when I think about everything, it's just keep God at the center. Keep all eyes on Him, and He'll figure things out for you. Never lose your faith. Is the biggest thing for me. Like everything else can be going wrong in my life. I'm never gonna lose my faith because I know sooner or later God, He'll come and get me out of this situation. Everything's a life lesson. And when things happen, I look at it as a lesson. And once the lesson is done, we move on to, we build from that and we move on to the next thing. So I think my biggest thing is just keep God at the center. I don't understand what's going on now, but eventually it'll make sense to me. So that's one of mine. Who's in your top 5 all time? Doesn't have to be any order. It can be any order.
Okay. My top 5 all time. Jay.
Yeah.
Nas.
Yeah.
Lupe. Can I put Outkast together?
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah.
Because I'm one of the rare people who like really feel like Big Boy is just as good as Andre 3000.
Okay.
I think 3000 is just more eclectic.
Okay. But yeah. Okay.
He got out rapped on a lot of them Outkast songs, but that's for another conversation.
Okay.
That's my that's put them. Matter of fact, you can separate them, and that'd be my top 5. Respectable.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Let's exclude it myself.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, my top 5 always changes. Man. It's always Jay-Z's always number 1. No. Everything else, Phife Dawg is always on there. Who else? I don't know. I'm just really tapped into the underground, man. So I listen to a lot of underground MCs and a lot of underground music. I think underground hip hop is the best hip hop right now. In all honesty, I think that what's going on in the underground world right now is beautiful, and the music that's being created and the passion that is being created with is unmatched. I don't think you're getting that in mainstream right now, and I think that,
not at all.
And like when I listen to artists like you, and I listen to like Feed the Family, who's out of Boston, and I listen to Jeff Porter, who's out of Lynn, and I listen to China Beijing, who's out of Lynn, which is a city around here. I listen to Tribal Queen from out Southside Jamaica, Queens. And I listen to all these artists that are just, making all this incredible music. And I'm just like, you can't tell me that underground hip hop is not the best hip hop out right now. Because I feel like they're carrying you guys are carrying the flag. You know what I mean? Y'all keeping the culture going. Y'all keeping it forward. I talked about this with my homeboy. I was like, the beautiful thing about the Clips album that came out recently, not too long ago, it brought back rollouts. You know what I mean? It brought back rollouts. And I'm like, man, like that's my favorite part about my podcast. I love the interviews. I love the conversations I have with people. And I love the incredible, talented people that I get to come across and interact with. But my favorite part is like after we record, get it done, the rollouts, like, the ideas that I'm able to create in my head and bring to life to get people excited about the episode. Like when I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna make a podcast, and every time I'm gonna make it seem like I'm coming out with a new album every single time. So that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? So, and like, I've shared things with you and ideas with you. So, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, like, pick 5 of these. Tell me if you like this, you know what I mean? So I'm just very detail oriented when it comes to things like that. So, but yeah, 10 people, you can invite 10 people to a dinner, dead or alive. Who you inviting? It could be anybody.
Dead or alive. Okay.
Dead or alive.
I'm bringing Nip. R.I.P. Nip.
Yeah, gotta bring Nip. Rest in peace to Nip.
Bringing Nip. I'm bringing. Can it be at any time in their life? Like if they old, I don't want to bring the old version of them. I want to bring them like in their prime.
I want
Nip, Farrakhan. We going. Who else gotta be there? Farrakhan, right? Snoop. I gotta meet Snoop. Damn, what's this lady name? I just forgot. She just did an interview with Keke Palmer. She was the aunt from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh yeah. I don't know her name though, but I know what you're talking about.
Her. She gotta come. I love her. All right, that's 4. Number 5. Mom Duke's got to be there because she got to be there to experience this with me. So she got to believe she's not gonna believe it if I just tell her. All right, that's 5 people. 5 more people. We gotta have some fire in there. Scissor.
Okay.
Whose brain do I want to pick? I know he kind of crazy, but Kanye, because I need to get some beats.
Yeah, Kanye. He's a genius, man. He's a musical genius.
I need Ye there. I got 3 more people. I don't want to have no weirdos there, so I don't have nobody I don't trust. Killer Mike.
Okay. Shout out Killer Mike.
Fuck with Killer Mike.
His last album was great.
Yeah, amazing. I just fuck with him as like his personality. Shit he stand for. I really fuck with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, what's my son? The smart dude with the thick mustache with the black dude, the scientist dude.
I know you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. I just don't know I can't put his name together. He's got the glasses, older looking guy. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Damn,
Cornell West?
Name. Nah, not Cornell West. The other, the really smart scientist dude. Black guy. He be doing all the podcasts and shit. He be on like Joe Rogan sometimes talking. Damn, what's this dude name? Well, matter of fact, we're swapping out. We bringing Cornell West. Fuck it. He can pull up.
Yeah.
And 5th, Bob Marley.
Okay. I like that. That's a good dinner. That's a good dinner. I've done this. This is my 83 episode 83. I feel like every single one, every time somebody asks somebody this question, they always give me like different names. So I like that. Last thing, man, before we go, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you very much for being part of episode 83 of the Hanging with Abe podcast. Conversation means a lot to me, and I appreciate you, man, willing to come on. So thank you. My advice to you, man, before I sign off, man, is like I said before, man, at the very beginning of this, you got a unique sound. Don't change that sound, man, because your place in hip hop right now is needed. We need more MCs like you that are vulnerable, that are honest in their music. And I feel like, man, you're doing hip hop for the right reasons, man. And I think because you're doing it for the right reason, God is going to continue to bless you. I cannot wait for the world to hear your new EP that you got getting ready to come out. Beautiful. Just, you did your thing on that, man. So I just hope that you know that, man, and I hope that you celebrate it the way it should be celebrated, because you did your thing on that, man. And don't let nobody tell you anything different. And just keep, man, keep creating hip hop, man, for hip hop lovers like myself, to be able to continue to listen and go back to, because you are one of those ones, man. And I see it, and I'm pretty sure everybody else sees it. But just thank you, man, for just being a part of the Hanging with Abe podcast, man, and just believing in what I got going on and my platform, and having this conversation with me, man. So thank you.
For sure, man. Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate what you're doing, not only for us rappers, but I see what you're doing for the basketball prospects as well, man. Giving people a
Yeah,
voice. Everybody want to be seen, so you creating a platform for us. We definitely appreciate you, man. So anyway, I'm able to support, I'm here, man. Salute to you, and thank you for having me
thank
once
you.
again, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. That means a lot to me, and thank you very much. All right.
Wow.